Can you believe it? There are countries that not only welcome you in retirement, but also pay you to come live there. Sounds like a dream, but it's true. Some places are ready to give up to $30,000. Some turn old age into a legal discount card, and others hand you a VIP visa along with a list of unbelievable perks. The problem is, most Americans have never even heard of these programs, and every year, only a handful of lucky people learn about them early enough, daring to leave home to enjoy the benefits. Will you let the opportunity slip by, only to regret later that you didn't choose to live differently? In today's video, you'll discover 5 unique countries, each with its own character, but all sharing one thing. They don't just welcome you, they actually pay you to enjoy your golden years. If you ever thought retirement was only about counting every pension dollar, this video might just change the way you see life. Hit like right now so you don't bury this chance, and subscribe so your journey to find the most livable retirement home never misses a second. Dream it. Pack it. Go. 5. In Italy. The eternal stage of your golden years. If life is a play, then retirement must be the final act. But for many Americans, as the velvet curtain slowly falls at home with mounting bills and monotonous days, Italy opens like a brand new stage, dazzling, surprising, and full of rewards. More than just a place to retire, Italy is the eternal stage of your golden years, where you can slow down, savor culture, and even get paid to do so. Picture a morning in a small Sicilian town. Sunlight slips through the red-tiled roofs, church bells echo in the distance, and the scent of freshly baked bread drifts from the little shop at the corner. You step onto the cobblestone street, stop by a cafe, and order a steaming cappuccino for just a few euros. The barista doesn't ask, "Where are you from?" but simply nods and greets you with, "Buongiorno," as if you've belonged there all along. In the US, a morning like this rarely costs less than $20. In Italy, it takes only a few coins yet delivers something priceless, a sense of belonging. For Americans, Italy's first attraction is its special visa policy. U.S. citizens can enter Italy for up to 90 days without a visa thanks to the Schengen Agreement. But for long-term living, the elective residency visa, or ERV, is the ideal choice. The requirement: you must prove a stable retirement or passive income of about $31,000 per year for an individual, or $38,000 per year for a couple. With Social Security, pensions, or investment income, many Americans can easily meet this level. More importantly, this visa can be renewed, and after a few years, you may move on to long-term residency or even Italian citizenship. Beyond visas, Italy also stands out with financial support programs to attract new residents. Some towns facing population decline have offered grants of up to $28,000, nearly $30,000, to those who relocate and commit to long-term residency. And of course, you've heard of the famous €1 house program, where you can buy an old property for almost nothing, provided you renovate it as required. With the money that would only cover a few months' rent in California, you could own a 3-story stone house in southern Italy, with centuries-old walls and a balcony overlooking vineyards. The cost of living is another major advantage. In small towns, a couple can live comfortably on $500 to $2,000 per month, including rent, food, utilities, internet, and even a few dinners out. Even in big cities like Rome or Florence, expenses are still much lower than in New York or San Francisco. And food in Italy isn't just affordable, it's a cultural experience. Fresh vegetables from village markets, artisanal cheeses, and local wines all create a life that's not just livable, but truly worth living. When it comes to taxes, Italy used to be considered strict, but today it offers favorable tax policies for foreign retirees, especially in the south. Specifically, some regions apply a flat 7% tax for 10 years on foreign income, including Social Security, pensions, and investment returns. This means you can keep most of your retirement income instead of paying high taxes like in the US. Then there's the story of Richard, a 67-year-old former teacher from Ohio. After his wife passed away, he felt his life was reduced to nothing but bills and emptiness. He rented a small apartment in the US for nearly $800 a month, living so frugally that he didn't dare invite anyone out to dinner. One day, he read about the €1 house program in the town of Sambuca. At first, he thought it was a joke, but decided to give it a try. 6 months later, Richard stood in front of a 3-bedroom old house with peeling plaster walls and a leaky roof, and smiled for the first time in years. He spent about $40,000 to renovate it. And now, every morning as he sits on his balcony overlooking the endless green vineyards, he says, "In the US, I existed. In Italy, I live." Richard's story spread across the expat community, becoming a vivid example of what many Americans are searching for: a new beginning in retirement. Italy's healthcare system is another major advantage. The public system, Servizio Sanitario Nazionale, or SSN, is high quality, low cost, and available to foreigners with long-term residency permits. A specialist visit costs only about $50 to $100, compared to hundreds of dollars in the US. In addition, private care is modern, reasonably priced, and many doctors speak English, especially in major cities. As for safety, Italy has a low rate of violent crime. Of course, you still need to watch out for pickpocketing in tourist areas, but in small towns, life is generally peaceful. Italians are famously friendly, treating dinner as a ritual to connect family and friends. For Americans, this is a welcome change from the rushed pace of life back home. But Italy is not a perfect paradise. Bureaucratic procedures can wear you down. Paperwork is complicated, and processing times are often long. Without some knowledge of Italian, integrating at first can be difficult, especially in rural areas. And those €1 homes often require costly renovations, sometimes far beyond the original estimate. Even so, when you weigh the downsides against everything Italy offers, from financial incentives, reasonable living costs, favorable tax policies, and quality health care, to a life immersed in culture, Italy remains a gem for Americans seeking a new stage for their golden years. If you've ever dreamed of a retirement that doesn't just stretch out the days but truly renews your spirit, Italy may be the place to turn that dream into reality. And the question is, will you dare to leave behind a cramped apartment in the US, to trade it for an ancient home among vineyards and Mediterranean sunlight? If your heart just skipped a beat, leave a comment. I'm ready. Who knows, that one-way flight to Rome or Palermo might not be far away. And if Italy is the grand stage of your golden years, then the next country is a slow-living love song set in the European countryside, where you'll find not only golden sunshine and wine, but also subsidies from local governments to help you breathe new life into old villages. Let's move on to Spain. But before we do, hit like and subscribe, because if you miss the next secrets, you might lose the chance to find your perfect retirement home. 4. Spain. The slow-living love song among white stone villages. If Italy is the grand stage of your golden years, then Spain is like a gentle love song echoing through the white stone villages of Andalusia and the endless olive fields. This is where your retirement no longer revolves around bills and insurance, but becomes a string of days filled with sunshine, wine cheaper than water, and sometimes even subsidies from local governments to help you breathe new life into villages long asleep. For U.S. citizens, setting foot in Spain isn't too difficult. You can enter visa-free for 90 days within the Schengen zone, and for long-term living, the most popular option is the non-lucrative visa, which requires proof of stable retirement income from Social Security or private pensions, usually around $30,000 per year. This visa doesn't allow you to work, but for someone who has already spent a lifetime working and now just wants to enjoy, it fits perfectly. What makes Spain different is that some rural towns are actually paying people or offering housing support to newcomers. These policies are aimed at fighting population decline as younger generations leave villages for the cities. Local governments provide small grants, housing assistance, or tax reductions to encourage retirees or young families to settle there. In fact, many Americans have already taken advantage of these opportunities. They receive financial support while enjoying a lifestyle with surprisingly low costs. Listen to the story of Mary, 64, from Michigan. She once thought she would have to spend her retirement in a tiny apartment on the outskirts of Detroit, with her pension barely enough to cover medicine and utilities. But one day she read about a small village in Galicia offering support for retirees to settle there. After months of research, she moved, renting a 2-bedroom house for less than $400 a month, plus receiving a local tax reduction for her first 3 years. Now, every afternoon, she strolls along the stone-paved streets, chats with neighbors in her simple Spanish, and says, "In the U.S., I had to choose between medicine and food. Here, I have both, plus a glass of red wine every evening." The cost of living in Spain is truly light. In rural areas or smaller cities, a couple can live well on $1,501 to $800 per month, including rent, food, internet, transportation, and the occasional dinner out. A menu del dia lunch costs only about $10 to $12, with 3 courses and wine included. At the supermarket, a $3 bottle of wine often tastes better than many expensive ones in the U.S. And you soon realize, here, eating is not just about filling your stomach, but about slowing down and savoring life. Spain's healthcare system ranks among the best in the world. With very low costs, residents with permits have access to high-quality public healthcare. Private care is also widely available, with many English-speaking doctors, especially in expat-heavy areas. As for safety, Spain is among the safer European countries, aside from pickpocketing in big cities. In the countryside, you'll often find doors left unlocked and neighbors eager to bring pastries over to welcome you. Of course, no place is perfect. Summers in southern Spain can reach over 100 grados, 38 degrees Celsius. Bureaucratic procedures are quite complicated and require patience. And if you want to live in Madrid or Barcelona, the cost will be higher and no longer at retirement prices like in the countryside. But for Americans looking for a safe place, with good health care, rich culture, and the real possibility of financial support in retirement, Spain deserves a spot on the dream list. So, are you ready for your retirement days to begin with the sound of a guitar echoing from the village square, end with a $3 glass of red wine, and the feeling of being valued instead of forgotten? If the answer is yes, leave a comment. I choose slow living. And if Spain is the gentle love song of rural Europe, then the next country is a tropical gem in Central America, where a retirement visa can turn your daily expenses into a massive discount gift. Let's head to Panama. Panama, the tropical golden retirement card. If Italy is the stage and Spain is the slow-living love song, then Panama is like a tropical VIP club, where simply flashing the pensionado visa feels as if you've just hit the jackpot. This isn't the kind of prize you stumble upon in a lottery, but a gift handed directly from the government to retirees. And trust me, they hand it out quite generously. Panama has long been considered an American retirement paradise, not just for its warm climate and turquoise beaches, but also for one of the most famous retirement policies in the world, the pensionado visa. All you need is proof of stable income from Social Security or a pension, and you're welcomed into the circle of privileged members. From there, a world of discounts opens up. 50% off movie tickets, 30% off bus fares, 25% off electricity bills, and even healthcare services at half price. In the US, you have to hunt for coupons. In Panama, the government has already stamped a giant coupon on almost everything. The cost of living in Panama is as light as the ocean breeze. A couple can live comfortably on about $1,500 to $2,000 per month, covering rent, food, transportation, and even a few nights out enjoying seafood. You can rent a modern apartment in Panama City for just $800 a month, or a small house by the beach for even less. Another bonus, Panama uses the US dollar, so you don't have to worry about exchange rates or remember how many cents make a Balboa. Listen to the story of Jim, 70, from Texas. Back in the US, he used to cut back on his medications just to afford insurance. After some research, he decided to move to Panama with a pensionado visa. A year later, he shared, "I paid for my dentures in Panama with the same amount of money that would only cover pulling a single tooth in the US." Now, every morning, Jim walks along the beach, spends his afternoons chatting with fellow expats in cafes, and often chuckles when he sees his electric bill. "I've never had this many discounts in my life, not even on Black Friday." Panama's appeal goes beyond finances. It's safer than many people think, especially in well-known expat hubs like Boquete or Coronado. Locals are friendly, many speak English, and the international community is so large you'll never feel isolated. Healthcare is modern, with private hospitals meeting international standards and many doctors trained in the US. A specialist visit is usually 50–70% cheaper than in the US, leaving you wondering, why was I paying 3 times more just to wait longer back home? Of course, no place is a perfect paradise. Panama can be noisy, sometimes chaotic, and if you can't handle hot, humid weather, you may find yourself constantly sticky with sweat. Infrastructure outside the major cities can be inconsistent, and paperwork isn't nearly as VIP as the visa sounds. But overall, Panama feels like a retirement club where the entry fee is incredibly low, yet the privileges are incredibly high. So, do you want your retirement to feel like every day is golden happy hour? If the answer is yes, leave a comment. I want the pensionado card. Like this video not only to show support, but also to remind yourself you deserve a happy retirement. And hit subscribe so you don't miss a single opportunity. Because sometimes, just one piece of information can change your whole life. And if Panama is the sunlit VIP club, then the next country is a South American land where old age turns into a legal discount card, where you don't just live cheaply, but are treated by the government as an honored guest. Let's head to Ecuador. To Ecuador, the discount card of old age. If Panama is the sunlit VIP club, then Ecuador is like a magical store, where every time you add another year to your age, you're handed an extra coupon. Here, aging isn't a burden. It's a legal golden card that turns you into a valued guest, receiving perks everywhere you go. As long as you're a citizen over 65, you automatically enjoy a range of privileges. 50% off bus fares and domestic flights, discounts on utility bills, cheaper movie tickets, and even reduced prices for events. In the US, you might spend all day hunting for coupons, but in Ecuador, the government simply hands them to you, and they never expire. The cost of living is also surprisingly light. Many Americans live comfortably on just $200 a month, covering housing, food, internet, and basic healthcare. In Cuenca, the expat capital of Ecuador, you can rent a beautiful apartment right in the city center for $500 a month, while fresh produce at the market costs only a few dollars for an entire week. Another perk: thanks to the year-round mild highland climate, you don't need air conditioning or heating, saving hundreds of dollars each year. Healthcare in Ecuador is another bright spot. While it may not feel as luxurious as in the US, public services are extremely inexpensive, and private hospitals are modern, with doctors trained in Europe or the US. A specialist visit costs only $30–40, compared to 10 times that back home. American retirees often choose to purchase international health insurance for about $70–100 per month for extra peace of mind. Listen to the story of Linda, 62, from California. After retiring, she realized her pension barely covered rent and medication. During a trip to South America, she stopped by Cuenca and was stunned. "I paid $3 for a full 3-course lunch, with soup, grilled meat, rice, vegetables, and fresh juice. In California, that amount barely buys a cup of coffee." She decided to return, applying for residency based on her stable pension. Today, she lives in a small apartment, takes salsa classes with friends every week, and often jokes, "In the US, old age was a minus sign. In Ecuador, it's a discount code." Of course, Ecuador isn't perfect. Rural roads can be bumpy, bureaucracy can be slow, and you'll need some Spanish to truly integrate. But with the friendliness of the locals, a large expat community, and the fact that foreign pensions aren't taxed, Ecuador becomes a choice worth considering. Are you ready for your golden years to become a legal discount card, where every day you not only save, but also enjoy a simple yet vibrant life? If the answer is yes, leave a comment. I want the golden retirement card. And if Ecuador is the discount paradise for seniors, then the final country on this journey is an Asian gem, where warm smiles and a special visa make you a VIP the moment you arrive. Let's head to the Philippines. Comment now with the country you choose, because only when you say it out loud do you begin turning your dream into a plan. 1. Philippines. The paradise of smiles and the VIP visa. If Ecuador is the discount card, then the Philippines is like an invitation to a tropical party, where every smile from the locals makes you forget you're a foreigner. Here, your retirement gets upgraded with the SRRV, Special Resident Retiree Visa, a permit that feels like a VIP card for a beach club. It grants multiple entries, certain tax exemptions, reduced service fees, and most importantly, a warm welcome from both the government and the people. The cost of living is as light as an ocean breeze. With just $1,200 per month, you can rent an apartment near the beach, feast on fresh seafood, enjoy internet fast enough to video call your grandkids in the US, and still have enough left for a few seaside massages. The healthcare system in the Philippines will also put you at ease. Many doctors are US trained, fluent in English, and consultation fees are only a fraction of what you'd pay back home. A specialist visit may cost just $25–40 without weeks of waiting. Picture this. In the morning, you sip coffee under the shade of coconut palms. In the afternoon, you stroll along Boracay's beach, and by evening you're singing karaoke with neighbors. Here, Karaoke isn't just entertainment. It's practically a national ritual. Locals are so friendly that shortly after moving in, you're already invited to dinner. Of course, the Philippines has its drawbacks: chaotic traffic, rainy seasons that can be inconvenient, and the need to choose cities or islands with good infrastructure. But with its welcoming smiles, affordable prices, and the SRRV visa as your VIP ticket, the Philippines offers a retirement life that's vibrant, joyful, and as warm as its people. So, do you want your retirement to turn into a tropical party every single day? If yes, leave a comment. I choose smiles. 5 countries, 5 different colors, yet all share the same message. Retirement isn't just about spending your savings. It's about the chance to live again, and sometimes even get paid to do so. And the most important question isn't, is it real? But rather, will you dare to step out of the familiar loop to try a new life? Picture yourself. Mornings no longer filled with car horns, but with church bells in Italy, guitars in Spain, ocean waves in Panama, highland breezes in Ecuador, or karaoke in the Philippines. Which soundtrack will you choose for your golden years? If one of these countries made your heart skip a beat, leave its name in the comments. Don't forget to hit like to show your support, and subscribe to join me on future journeys, where retirement isn't the end, but the doorway to the life you truly deserve.